Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I have a voice of radio, and that voice is a little bit croaky right now, but you know what? We've got new sets to talk about. We've got new sets which seem to be legit over in Japan, so what am I going to do? Not tell you about them? Nah, that does not sound like me. We've got a couple of sets that have been listed, well, seemingly confirmed, maybe a better way to put it, and they are Mask of Change and Night Wanderer. And I want to start off with Mask of Change because this one seems pretty easy. Now, we've seen listings for Scarlet and Violet Expansion Pack Mask of Change. We have a release date of April the 26th, 2024, and it's clearly the Ogerpon set. Like this one's pretty easy. Now, we did talk about this previously when a trademark was filed over in Japan. We didn't know exactly what the deal was then. We assumed it was legit. We assumed it was a Pokémon TCG set, as we tend to do. But of course, it's another one of those where we need to actually wait and get a bit more information. Well, now we have a bit more information, and it really does seem like this is a new expansion, which is going to be coming, like I say, on April the 26th, and this is honestly pretty easy. It's got to be Ogerpon. I mean, look, the Teal Mask, the first DLC, it's all about Ogerpon, and the thing about that Pokemon, right, it has a mask, or should I say multiple masks, which it changes to change form. Now, I suppose that... No, I'll tell you what, right? I was going to say I suppose there's a chance there's something else. I really don't think there is. This seems... There are some set names that make perfect sense, that are very easy to figure out what they are. This is honestly one of them. It's like when we had Wild Force and Cyber Judge initially revealed, and I told you that they had to be follow-up Paradox sets, because that was just the only thing that made sense. Obviously, they're going to be Paradox sets, and they are. They are sets that are built around Paradox Pokemon. Well, I feel the same here. I'm not really entertaining that there's maybe something else going on here. Sorry. Come on. This is blatantly Ogerpon. But then this kind of builds in a lot of questions of itself. Because, of course, Ogerpon's got 4 masks. And each of Ogerpon's 4 masks will essentially change its form. So then the question becomes, what do we do in the TCG? How do we represent this in the TCG? And the answer is, it's going to be tool cards, isn't it? Obviously, it's going to be tool cards. I'm not saying we're not going to get, different Ogerpon EXs and all of that with different forms, but I am saying I would be absolutely stunned at this point if we didn't, at some stage, go and get ourselves a bunch of tools which change these around. And actually, we're going to hear about one of them in a minute. So don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to be okay. So, Mask of Change seems pretty straightforward. Coming out on April the 26th, built around Ogerpon, job's a good un. We've then got Night Wanderer. Now, Night Wanderer is coming out in June, specifically June the 7th, and this one is a little bit more up in the air. Like I say, Mask of Change, it's one of those things where if it's not Ogerpon, I have no idea what's going on. This is weird. I refuse to believe it's anything else. But this one, this one's a little bit more awkward. But then again, we can kind of do a process of elimination thing here, because there aren't that many Pokemon and that many things which we need to hit from the DLC. Like, we've already hit all of the Paradox Pokemon, especially now that we've had, over in Japan, Cyber Judge and Wild Force, we've hit them all. We've hit all of those Paradox Pokemon. So now the question becomes, what's left? And the answer is the other ones from the Teal Mask. Specifically, Okidogi, Munkidori, and Fezandipiti. Fezandipiti. There we go. So I'm not saying it definitely is going to be a set built around these, but I'm saying it does actually make absolute perfect sense. This seems like a pretty slam dunk thing to me. This seems like a pretty good prediction. Now, I do not feel as good about this as I do Mask of Change being about Ogerpon, for pretty obvious reasons, but I do feel like this is one of those things where, what's left? Like, we've done basically everything from the Indigo Disc, and yeah, it is a little bit weird that we ended up doing the Indigo Disc, the second DLC, in the TCG, before we did the Teal Mask, the first DLC, But essentially, we started with Paradox Pokemon, and then we finished the Paradox Pokemon, and actually, I do kind of get that. That does actually make a little bit of sense. Fine. I'm gonna let you off on that one. But the point I'm making is, this seems to be essentially all that's left. And we all know that what they're going to do is start playing around with all kinds of various other random stuff at some point. Of course they are. But my point is, they're going to do that when they've essentially caught up. When they get to the stage where they've done everything they need to do, where we've got all of the stuff, we've got all of the Pokemon, we've hit all the main beats, then we are going to start going and actually figuring out what other sets we can make. If I'm Pokemon, right now I'm in a DLC sets. I am making sets about the DLC, and that's all I'm really worried about. So yeah, that honestly seems about right to me. Sounds like a plan? Excellent. Now, before we move on, because there's a couple of other products which have been revealed which we need to talk about, there is also another set. Now, we talked about this before, but there is a March set. And the March set is Crimson Haze. And here's an image that the lovely Joe from Cerebi.net sent me. Yeah, I mean, come on. Come on. This has got to be Crimson Haze. And the reason I show you that is because it backs up my point beautifully. In March, we get a set about the Blood Moon Ursaluna, Crimson Haze. I mean, not about the Blood Moon Ursaluna, but, you know, where we presumably get an EX of that. It's on the booster pack art and all of that. Then we flick forward to April and get our Ogerpon set. And then we got a set in June. And it's way too perfect at that stage to not essentially finish off with the other new Pokemon. By the other new Pokemon, obviously I know there are a couple of other new Pokemon. What I mean is the other new Pokemon which are going to basically have a set themed around them, your legendary Pokemon, etc. Now, there are a couple of other things which have gone and been revealed, including the special jumbo card set, Ogerpon. Now, this is coming out on May the 17th, 2024, which is interesting because, of course, if we've got Mask of Change in April, Night Wanderer in June, that leaves nothing in May, at least in terms of not actually having a proper set in May, and that's where the special jumbo card set comes in. And you get yourself a jumbo card Ogerpon, a promo card Ogerpon, a promo card Ogre Mask, 8 packs of Mask of Change, a card stand, and a coin. The lovely Primal Lugia has suggested, and I agree with this, that it's probably, can't guarantee, but it's probably going to be a card stand like we got for Lapras, Mew, and Latias. So these jumbo things that came around with V-Star Universe, there were little cardboard stands. Can't guarantee, but this seems more sensible. It's weird that over in Japan, they actually do have, like, proper, really nice card frames that they just sell in a way that we don't. But that's not the kind of thing they generally tend to get in their products. It's probably going to be something a little less fun. So don't get too excited about the card stand. It's probably literally cardboard. Boo! Never mind. I think we're going to get over it. But there's a couple important things here. Firstly, you're getting yourself a promo Ogerpon EX. That's awesome. That makes me very, very happy. Actually, I'm lying to you. It doesn't say EX. It just says a promo Ogerpon. Okay. Maybe it's not an EX. We'll have to wait and see. But you also get a promo card Ogre Mask. And this is basically what I was saying about earlier in the video. I don't know exactly what this is going to do, but it's going to be a tool card. I refuse to believe it's not a tool. I mean, firstly, it's a mask. Masks tend to be tool cards. And secondly, come on. And it's probably going to be something to do with the changing mechanic that Ogerpon has. Now, I'm not saying exactly like Team Plasma Badge, but this is what springs to mind for me when I see this. Team Plasma Badge was an old tool, came around in Plasma Freeze, that you attach to a Pokemon, and they essentially become a Team Plasma Pokemon. It's going to be a similar kind of thing here. I'm not saying it's going to give it a particular trait like Team Plasma, but I am saying you attach one of the masks, and then all of a sudden, you're a different type, or you've got different skills, or something along those lines. There we go. We've got a new set coming around in April, Mask of Change. That is coming out on April the 26th. We've got a special card jumbo card set, Ogerpon, coming out on May the 17th, which, has got that mask in, which seems pretty relevant. And then we've got Night Wanderer coming out on June the 7th, which seems to be the set which is going to bring us Okidogi, Munkidori, and Pheasant Pity. But again, that is a bit less certain for me. And there we go. That's what you need to know. And now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about these. Tell me how excited you are for these sets. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Go nuts. Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.